Well, shit. Come on. What are you doing? What are... And there we go. Looks like we're good to go. This is my second stream. I'm going to be going over a new piece of software, iZotope Alloy 2. It's a futuristic channel strip, really. So, I guess before we begin, hit that like button, and yeah, that's it. We can begin. Let me just put everything aside here. Okay. Health is good, apparently. Okay, so I have 2 tracks I'm going to attempt to go over. Bear with me. Kind of just got it today, but I'm going to just kind of figure out how intuitive it is and give it a fair shot. So basically, got my techno track here. It's something from before, which I already mixed, but now, well, I just took all the EQs out. Some of the processing is still there, which I would normally do, but everything is in its raw state. In the compressor, the sidechain compression, I'm gonna go over again, but it's still there. And the upgrade button is on. The upgrade button is on in Ableton because it's from an old version of Ableton when I had 8. So it's quite old, but maybe I can give it a remaster and see. I don't know. See it. So let's I'll show you the track. So we have, none of this is sidechained, so bear with me. Alright, so yeah, not bad, but it's really not up to, you know, my kind of standards. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to group the main sections of the track. So kick and bass get their own house. The lead I'll put up there. That's it. The loop, and then okay, and the effects is quite simple for the sake of this, you know, tutorial. So what I usually do is I start out with the bass, or the kick and the bass, and what I'll do now, take that out and then drop in Alloy and see what we can do here. Can you use it correctly? Yes, I can. I do read the comments, so there's comments in the right side, up there, or around there. And yeah, I have them right in front of me, and my eyes check periodically. So we have Alloy here, and it's quite different from the first Alloy. I used that, I got a demo of it, oh, I don't know, quite a bit ago, maybe like 2010, and it was pretty good, but this one is like very, very improved, like a big improvement, but I wouldn't know the improvement. People say there's an improvement. So what I'm going to do is, this is on my kick. I'm going to solo my kick. And if you know me, I usually have a spot around 200 hertz that I don't like. So we have selected 4. We can see that's moving around. We're going to move the Q up just to kind of carve that naughty spot out. cool. I did that. This in particular is I find that in kicks there's this kind of pointless frequency of a lot of club kicks now. That's around the 200 mark, and I like to kind of give the track more headroom around that area, because the kick is something that is constant. Like, it's most of the track. If you think of, like, you know, percentage of the track, it's mostly the kick. And that sine part, right? That sine part I really don't like, and it adds a little too much rumble, but around the 200 hertz range, usually, sometimes not. And what I do is I carve that out, and it makes the kick kind of more separated, because it's the low component and the high component, and that kind of muddy mid, you know, like knock your feelings out kind of thing doesn't really work for me. And you can hear it. I'll bypass it and let you know how it is. So it's a deeper, rounder kick. And yes, Alloy it's a channel strip, really. It's more than an EQ. It's an EQ. It has a Transient Shaper, Transient Designer, which I'm a fan of. It has tube tape, retro and warm kind of distortion and drive. 2 multi-band dynamics processors, up to 3 bands each, so you can have pre and post, which I like, and a de-esser, which I don't see myself using quite a bit, and limiter. It's pretty cool. And with that being said, the kick is already punchy. But if I wanted to add more punch, I would use the Transient Designer. And what the Transient Designer is, I went over this in my previous video. But what it does is this indicator comes on when it detects a transient, and a transient is when the sound goes from quiet to loud. It's a change in the current, I believe, a very sharp change in current, and it detects it, and then it kind of you can add a very quick peak in volume called an attack, and it'll add as kind of like a compressor working in reverse, but it's smart. So we'll move this up. You know, if I really wanted my kick to be like really punchy, it already is, but if I want it to be a bit more, yeah, I'll just leave that on. If I want it to be a bit more, you know, and if the kick was too punchy, or the material was too punchy and clicky, I could remove. So here it's just like a compressor, like a regular one, but a very, very fast attack. But I kind of liked it. Kind of added a click. We'll A/B it. Then what I'll do, because I did that, is I'll rearrange. I will put the EQ in front of the Transient Shaper. And what that does is I'll have more control over that transient. Cool. So now we'll move on to our bass, and we'll work on these in groups. And we'll give that a listen. So, same with the kick. There's a particular frequency that I don't like, and it might be just me, but this works well in dance clubs. So on and off. It's lowering the frequency, but it's raising it in a weird way. Makes it sound bassier, gives it more bottom. Gives it a lot of things, really. Yeah, let me check something. Oops. Stop download. That's only different from Ozone. It's basically the same EQ engine. And Alloy is more for mixing. Because like back in the day, people used, myself included, we used Ozone for like individual tracks and not just the master. So then they came out with this, and it's pretty cool. Works well. Let's see here. So back to where I was. I was looking at the low end and how cutting out a particular part of the low end. We're using a bell shape, by the way. Cutting out the low end in some areas changes areas beside it. And it's really weird and it's hard to predict, but that's what it kind of does. So that's why this bass now sounds like a rounder in a way. We got rid of that one part, but we may be affecting the body of the track, so we have to raise it, we have to compensate somewhere else. What I'll do, I'll use a vintage bell. Yeah, that sounds cool. And if we wanted to make it more clicky and punchy, we could use the Transient Designer. It'll detect the bass just the same, or maybe not. Maybe that bass is a little too dynamic. Anyway, it's already distorted. We can drop some dynamics on there, and it's a good way to kind of clean it up. Because it does bounce around quite a bit. We'll give it a listen. I'll bring the threshold up to 2, and I'll see how it fares. Wait, hold on. Yeah. My apologies. Kind of smoothing it out. I want to give it less of an attack and more of a release, or more of an attack. Yeah. Let's see if we can bring this up just a tiny bit. So what I'll do actually is I'll route the EQ right to the end, so it's after the limiter now. Okay. Yes, you did. Congratulations. You're so cool. I can't even say your name. You're so cool. But yeah, thanks for joining, everyone. So we have something now that has a lot more pressure, a lot more roundness. Kind of boring. And we are looking at quite a bit of fun stuff. So let's play those two together, and then we'll see how we go. See, we're gonna one on one, and then in the group together, and then you move on to the other group, and then you play them all together. Just listening to when it bites, sorry. That sounds big. I'll actually turn these off. Fantastic. Okay. So now I'm going to go to our percussion section. I'm going to drop an alloy before the reverb. Then plop it here. Now, let's see. What I want to do is loop this section. So there's quite a bit going on here. I'm going to refresh myself with the signal flow. Okay, so EQ. I'm going to put Transient Shaper first. So let's figure out what we can do here. I want to turn it on. Okay, I'm going to put the EQ. I'm going to give ourselves a high pass brick wall just for fun. And this is one of my favorite things. A brick wall EQ, totally perfect. Doesn't alias from what I've read. You can use this to kind of clean up the low end of your kicks. Right, and you get squishy sounds. We have bigger problems here. We have something rather here. It'll be fixed in the compression area. So now we'll move to a multiband dynamics processor. Gotta bring the threshold up, sorry. Gotta see which one does what. So the low end is controlled here. And I don't know where. Might as well get vintage. Yeah, I want a fast attack. I want that low end out of there. There we go. We got a nice kind of pumping thing. The release is happening too slow. Now we'll give that a try with the kick in the bass. And that delay is bugging me. Do is put the EQ after the dynamics. This second dynamic stage, I'm going to use it to kind of level everything off. It's not going to, you know, use multiband distortion, or not multiband compression. It's not going to use multiband compression. This is going to be an overall leveling of the frequencies. We'll give it a smooth 2-to-1. Oops. If I can count. I want that snappy clap. Maybe we could try using the de-esser. If it'll kind of tame the high end, that'd be cool. Yeah, it doesn't do too well for me. So we'll listen to that one. Oops. Start menu, start menu. So we have that part. Now we have our kind of lead body that goes over top everything. I'll put that post processing. And what we'll do, hold on. My questions are not, or my comments, I mean, are not loading. Oh well. Oh yeah, they are. Okay. Loading on one screen, but not on the other. Any questions, feel free to stop me. So now we have this lead, upper lead. And what I want to do is I want to focus on the EQ. Give it a smooth analog EQ. We'll use all vintage stuff. So we can get some nice kind of distortion. I like to move the curve around, the bell curve, to hear what's being affected. And I'll do that fast. What are you doing? Vintage style. I'm never gonna hear the difference. Oh yeah, that's there. And for 8, we will do an analog high shelf. Oops, no. Low pass. Yeah, we'll do a brick wall low pass just to clean up some room. It's amazing what we can get away with. So we'll turn that on and we'll give the whole jamboree a try. We have white noise here. We're gonna have to be gentle with this one. There's white noises everywhere. If there's too much low end, it adds some rumble, and it's not too fun. Okay. Yeah, I'll just show you what I did. Right. You can barely hear it. We'll do that. Now we'll move the faders around and we'll give it a final revision. Oh, we have one more thing to take a look at here. Let's what am I doing? I'm doing that. Okay. So we'll listen to that. So obviously there's some low-end stuff here. We can do kind of an analog low shelf. And we have some weird stuff going on there. So I'll take this and I'll low pass brick wall. And I can get rid of that information because it doesn't really it doesn't really matter. So now, oops. What we could probably do, we'll route, yeah, the EQ, Transient Shaper, yeah. Routing is good. We'll give the Transient Shaper a try. Easy as that. Maybe I should explain what I did. So what it is, I got rid of all of the low end because there was some weird low end stuff going on. As you can tell by the metering, which is excellent metering, by the way. Oh, what I did is spectrum options, average time. I should go 1 second. I go 1 or 3. There we go. Maybe 3. Oops. So I got 3 seconds. So now you can see better, I should say. And refresh. Cool. Cool. Okay, so I did that. Then I had, I'll turn that on. Oh. So I had a hi-hat loop that's really like wishy and washy, right? So I wanted Alloy to detect those transients and boost them. So you can almost hear the drummer dude, you know, hitting the hi-hat, and I've kind of brought that back or added it. Designing the transients, it's always fun. And what I want to do is I kind of wanted to like give it a gate so the sustain would go down. Right, so it gets rid of the extra part. You can hear better now. You can go in reverse too to kind of make the sustain go longer. But you know, that sounds different than what we're going for. Alright, so then I had that, and then I believe I loaded the first dynamics processor to kind of smooth it out with a 8-to-1 attack, if that makes sense. And or 8-to-1 ratio, and the attack around 100. Yeah, I'll turn the auto gain. This is like auto makeup gain in Ableton, right? So we'll bypass. Right, just sounds like whoosh, like crap. right? So you kind of get what it does using things together. Will get you a nice sound. You'll get what you're looking for. Try this. Maybe we can say that those hi-hats are a little too intense for us. We could give the de-esser a try because it works for it. It's basically it just compresses the S sounds. So here it's detecting them, but it kind of kills the track. Are they there? Yeah, so it's just a multi-band compressor with only that one band activated. But we don't need it. It sounds cool without it. So I really want to kind of, reiterate what it did. Just the Transient Shaper, because I think that's a fantastic tool. Took something that sounded like this and turned it into, it made it real again, which is amazing to me. Okay, I'm not gonna save this. I'm gonna go to one more track. We'll see how it is. Cool. Oh, don't have that. Bleh. Okay. Okay, so you gotta bear with me for a sec here. Get your questions in, but to do my second track, or go over my second track. Yeah. But it's a great channel strip EQ, and the fact that it has like extreme cut, it rivals the Cambridge EQ from UAD. And the Transient Designer from UAD. One moment. Grand Central Station. I'm getting texts all the time now. What's going on? Yeah. For anyone new, give it a thumbs up and say something in the comments. I'm about to begin my second part. Maybe I'll do some show off some general tricks afterwards. But this is going to be a different kind of mixing. I didn't do mastering. I was focusing on mix downs. I should do a course on this. This will be a practice course. Very practice. Just checking my stuff. Yeah. Here's a tip, and I hate to be bitter. Well, I'm not. People ask me for music all the time. If you're gonna ask me for music, and we haven't talked in a year, don't ask for like 10 tracks. Ask for one. Don't just list them all off. No. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on maybe a Swedish. I think it's Sweden. What is it? Yeah, Sweden Street Parade 2003. I'm gonna be on the compilation. That'll be cool. Anyway, enough about me. I'm not that kind of guy. But now the comments are in reversed. What the hell's going on? So weird. Okay, I'm gonna start now. All my new subscribers, what's happening? New subscribers and new viewers. This will be posted later, well, on the channel right after it's done. So don't worry, you're not gonna miss anything. Okay. Let's see. So, first things first. I think this is already. Yep. Yep. This is already put together. Yeah, so we have our groups here. I'll sort them for ease of use. And new audio track, yep. And these are separated now, right? So we have our leads. Okay, but first we have our high-end material, which is a crash, which isn't, you know, not as crazy as you think it is. And we have our two leads recorded from the virus, our kick and bass, our percussion-y instruments, and our effects. And that's how you should group them, just to keep everything in one spot. Now, I always start with the kick and the bass, because that's, in my opinion, the most important part. Again, with that frequency. Maybe it's just me, but you know, I've been doing this like in three studios, three different music areas. So it's not my room. It's just a frequency I don't like. So I'm gonna kind of carve it out. It's not too crazy. Wondering if I do have a UC33. You can't find it anywhere? I'll sell it to you. I don't even use it. We have our kick down. Simple EQ. It's fantastic. Bass time. Yep. Sounds interesting. So there's a compressor. We're going post compressor. Turn off the side chain so we can hear it. Fantastic. We're gonna maybe add a bit of tube distortion. I might want to turn it on. And I'll use a very smooth compressor ratio. Push the faders up. Turn the sidechain on just to see what it's doing. Okay, we have these two kind of put together. What I'm going to do now is work on this clap. Perfect. A little too much low end. I'm going to use, not that one, this one. It adds that snap to that clap again. We'll drop it here. High pass slightly. So you can generally get away with a lot more. I'll use this sparingly. It's going to be a bit of a problem. You need some, this is for mid and body, I believe. We'll play them all together. And we'll mix that with the kick, see how that sounds. A little too much going on in that kick. Get the kick and the clap in balance now. It's already panned. Perfect. Now introduce the bass. The importance of that frequency. So we have our second bass layer that we're going to mix with it. So we have to kind of smooth it out in a way. Maybe give it a bit of grit too. We'll go low shelf. Maybe our resonant one. that. I don't think we need to compress it because it already sounds good. I just have this top bit. So we have lots of stuff in there and a low end that we gotta fix. So I will go high pass, sharp high pass. I want to add some presence up top. Bit of in the middle. So this is, you can arguably say, kind of the important part. So that's the heart of the whole instrument right there. You've taken it away. We don't need the exciter. We don't need the limiter. A simple EQ, very high quality. EQ. So generally, the kick, everything is built around the kick. So if you're ever wondering, like, how loud do I make this sound, your kick should be, well, anywhere, like lower than 0, and then you mix around that. So just as a reference, you want the kick to kind of take power. Usually it's negative 3 dB, but you know, there's plenty of headroom in Ableton, and there's plenty of reverse headroom, whatever. So you play the kick and the sound, and you'll know where the balance is. So that's too quiet. That's too loud. So that they're equal sounds, but now you put a compressor on it. Add that sexy bass we made. So now we have a bit of a problem. It's lost a bit of its life. We'll see what we can do there. Reparative. The heart of the lead is being interfered by this mid bass here. this one's a problem. It sounds great without it, but I really want to use it. Maybe we should take a bit out. So we got punch and all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah. Let's create a new... No. I'm not saving my work, sorry. Get your questions in. Hopefully they'll show up by the time I take off. Hope you enjoyed the stream today, regardless. There we go. What was I looking at? I had some neat things I was working on. Wait, it was like tribal kind of stuff. It was pretty cool. With alloy. Right? So you take that and you can just like do that. It doesn't really, you know, it doesn't really sound good. What you can do, drop alloy on there. Move it over. And then what I was doing before is I was moving the... Wait, what am I doing? Yeah, I was putting the dynamics before the transient sharpener. So it goes dynamic, sharpener, transient shaper. Well, it does sharpen, it seems, and then EQ, right? So we'll go dynamics, and we'll just squish it slightly. Well, quite a bit. Then we're going to go to our transient shaper. Then we're going to EQ slightly. or a little bit. So it takes all that away, but then when we bring the limiter down, it's kind of like a maximizer. So it really kind of adds to acoustic drums. Loud and punchy, just moving a few knobs around, and that'll work for like a lot of other kind of loops. What's really cool that'll happen. That sounds fantastic. Check that out. We'll move the exciter before the limiter. How about that? Right? And it's a matter of, you know, there's alloy for mixing, and there's alloy for cooking. Cooking is a little bit different than mixing. You can really get large sounds, and I think the Transient Shaper works well for like acoustic kind of sounds. I'm gonna put it as in like a kind of an input for a machine in my template here. It's gonna find a home, and it's gonna really jazz up some of my techno mixes. And yeah, I recommend it. It's pretty fun. So, recap, I guess. What can we do for a recap? Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do. I'll do my mixing course with this maybe. I'm gonna recap. Transients. Making the transients come back and making them go away. Could be a new thing for some people, but you know, when you're compressing, you're trying to go for that, you know, that Transient Shaper sound. It's just a really interesting way to liven your mixes up, give one shots more, you know, pump. Or not pump, maybe more pump, more snappy, and using things that you shouldn't use as an effect. Hope you learned something. I'll be back, I don't know, pretty soon. I'm going to go over this more, and we're going to be getting into more kind of multi-band stuff, more complex mixing, maybe mixing some vocals if I can get a hold of some. Anyway. Take care, and